No, I part of the reason why I asked that question is because obviously one of the things that was brought to my attention, was if you're on Facebook, there's a lot of people that are we all complain in unison en masse sometimes. And Stegeman had kind of boasted that that during the last night's event that you guys would agreed with him that that you had to vote that you would have had to have voted for dismantling Mexican American Studies because that there was no choice. Right. And here we've talked about the DSEG issue. Well, we talked about the attorney's advice.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't.
Did you have advice? I mean, or was that
right? I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to clarify Dr. Stegeman's position. I disagreed with him, actually. I said I would have voted to have kept MAS. And so again, I want to clarify that I wouldn't have voted with him. I don't think I would have voted with him on a lot of issues.
And so my statement was, and he said on this morning that, Foster agreed with me, and totally out of context that was taken because the board, by their lack of actions, put themselves in a corner that they didn't have to be in. And so because they failed to act, like I mentioned earlier, they failed to use the DSEG order in our favor because they failed to take any legal recourse that they had. They ended up in this corner that put MAS versus $15 million. And so in that corner, all out of context, one program versus $15 million, you're put in a corner. You can't cut $15 million.
So before we went to break, we were talking about when push came to shove and the dilemma that either the board's lack of knowledge or the staff's withholding knowledge from the board put the board in the position of saying, geez, we either defend the program or we lose $15 million. So Cammie said he would have voted not to do that and would have said let's sue. And I wanted to clarify with you, Kristel, because you said that when confronted with the possibility of losing $15 million, you would have voted to eliminate the program. But I'm confused. You said you would have voted to eliminate the program because you didn't want to lose $15 million.
If we were backed in that corner, because we are representing all of TUSD here.
So you would have only done that after you sued?
After we sued, but that vote might not have been there if we had followed these legal recourses.
Do you only vote? Do elected officials, should they only vote for things where they can ensure their win? I mean, should you only vote when you know you can win, or do you vote when it's the right thing? Do you force the other people to be up or down on it?
No, you bring up a good point. And so a vote is political and it's reality, right? It's definitely political. What movement do you have? And it's also reality. Right.
Because the public loses its faith and becomes cynical when they see people who they believe to be good people being silent and going along. They don't know that you're thinking, well, I can't really do this because we don't have the votes today, so I'm just going to go along. Those are the moments when people start to lose faith in people that they've worked their tail off to get elected. Okay, let me stop with that. Abby, are you still out there?
Hey, Steve.
Welcome.
First of all, I want to thank Cammie for not being afraid to say he would have voted against the Hicks resolution. And I think he's Mexican enough. I don't know who that blogger is he's talking about. But
you're not the one, Avy.
All right, cool. And I think overall there's this fear of petticone in general that Democrats have, but that's another topic. I was just curious. I mean, Kristel's been at forums for many months now, and the January 10th vote directly led to the classes being canceled. It led to the books being pulled from the classes. It led to the students crying as their books are being taken out of the classroom. It led to the monitors being sent to the MAS classrooms. That was the vote that started all of this in motion. And I think you should have voted. I think you should have just said you would vote no. I think the money, you can tell the feds whatever, but I'm also interested in your thoughts. Why do you think Adelita, Grijalva, and Cammie would be wrong in voting no against the Hicks resolution? I'll take my answer off the air.
Let
that
me.
was for me.
Well, that was for him.
That was
her.
for me. Was it you?
No,
Sorry.
that was for Kristel.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. I was paying attention to the middle part.
So first, I disagree that everything did not start on January 10th. Because, like we said, we have a board of 5 people who are disagreeing, and so, I mean, it's you can't take that out of isolation. And I want to thank everybody for the conversation. Absolutely, that call. Maybe you do have to rethink that. Is it about the political statement, or is it about the actual cutting of $15 million?
Well, but isn't that still a false either-or? Because until you sue in federal court using the DSEG order to push out of the way what Hupenthal's doing, you don't get to know that.